I'm Jerry Detweiler with NAV, and today we're going to talk about should you apply for PPP, and is there still time? Well, the answer to the first question is yes, there are many borrowers who still have not applied for PPP who may qualify and could get this valuable, forgivable loan from the SBA. And yes, at the moment we're talking, there is still time. You will be able to submit applications until the end of May 2021. However, I recommend you get your application in as soon as possible because funds are limited for this program, and it's possible that some lenders may stop taking applications as the end of May 2021 approaches and they realize they need to process the applications they've still received. So let's just quick recap what PPP, or the Payroll Protection Program loan program, offers. This is a loan that may be fully forgiven if you qualify, meaning that you don't have to pay it back, either in full or in part, depending on your forgiveness application. In addition, it's not taxable at the federal level. There are a few states that are taxing it at the state level, but it's not taxable at the federal level. And recent legislation clarified that if you spend the money on deductible expenses you would normally deduct on your tax return, you can continue to deduct those expenses. So this is a tremendous opportunity for businesses that have been impacted by the COVID-19 crisis and can use this valuable funding to survive and thrive. I'm still seeing a lot of questions on the NAV blog where we've written extensively about PPP. One of the main articles you'll find at nav.com/PPP, and then that will also link to an article about applying for PPP if you are self-employed, a gig worker, or an independent contractor. And that's where I'm still seeing a lot of questions come in from people who are independent contractors. What does that mean? That means that you don't get paid by an employer who withholds taxes from your wages, but instead you typically get a 1099 that reports your income. And then in most cases, you're going to report that income to the IRS using a Schedule C. That's the form that you report that business income to the IRS. Now, not everyone does that. If you have an S corporation, for example, you file different tax forms, but for the large majority of independent contractors and self-employed individuals, they file a Schedule C. Now, to figure out how much you qualify for, the normal rule is 2.5 times average monthly payroll. But if you're self-employed, you probably don't pay formal payroll. Instead, you take money out of the business as you need it. So if you file Schedule C, the SBA has recently changed the way you calculate or can calculate your amount for PPP, and it's very favorable to many self-employed borrowers. Instead of relying on the net income on line 31, which is the old previously required calculation, you can now choose line 7, which is your gross income. And that's advantageous because for many business owners who have deducted a lot of expenses, they will get more money from PPP using that new calculation. Now, I'm focusing here primarily on those who never got a PPP loan and never qualified and never applied. But do remember there is a second PPP loan available to businesses that qualify. It's similar to the first, except that you also have to demonstrate a loss in revenues for one quarter compared to a previous quarter or year over year 2020 to 2019. So yes, 2020 to 2019. So keep in mind that if you already got their first draw PPP and you haven't applied for your second PPP loan or second draw PPP, you definitely want to get that application in as well, because the pot of money that's available is for both types of loans. It's for first and second draw loans. So if you are self-employed, one of the questions I'm getting a lot on the NAP blog is, what do I do if I haven't filed my tax returns? You do not have to have filed your tax returns. However, you will need the information from the tax return to apply. Now, with this new calculation, with the line 7 gross income, it's a little easier for businesses to fill out that information and calculate their loan amount. So you can just go, certainly if you have an accounting professional, you should be talking to them. If you do your own taxes, you can go to the IRS website and you can just type in Schedule C. You can download a Schedule C and then fill out that first part so you can get that information about how much you qualify for. The other thing I want to caution you is that you do have to have been in business by February 15th, 2020, on or around that date. So if you started your business later in 2020, then PPP may not be the option for you, and you may need to look for other relief programs. Now, the application is not as complicated as it seems. It will seem complicated at first for many people because you're not used to dealing with things like your tax returns and the information that they need and want for this. But your lender will guide you through it. So the most important thing to do is to start the application process. So at least you can get started. They'll tell you what you need then, what documentation you need to provide to them in order to qualify. Now, NAV is matching borrowers to PPP lenders. So if you simply go to nav.com, right at the top, you'll see a banner. Click on that banner, and then you can get the process started. We will match you to PPP lenders making both first and second draw PPP loans. Again, we're talking today live at the end of April 2021. The application window closes at the end of May 2021, and you want to get that application in as soon as possible. So if you have questions, we do answer questions. You can put your question below, or you can put it at the NAV blog. If you visit nav.com/PPP, all lowercase, you will see our extensive article on this topic. It links to other articles that may answer your questions, and then we will answer questions in the blog as well. I hope you found this helpful today, and I really want to encourage you that if you qualify for PPP, if your business needs that funding because you have been impacted in one way or another by the COVID-19 crisis, that you'll be able to get that funding, get that loan forgiven, and then build your business back up again in 2021. Best to all of you, and let us know if you have questions. Thank you.